Welcome to Creator Upload, your creator economy podcast. I'm Lauren Schnipper.
And I'm Joshua Cohen. Lauren,
Yes.
do you like Mariska Hargitay?
Do I like? It's funny you say that because last night I realized, oh my God, I go in and out of SVU like I always finish every season, but I hadn't watched a few. I watched 2 episodes in a row last night. She is a national treasure. And I feel like she's fine.
Love her.
Love.
Yeah.
Love. And she's kind of like, because she had this amazing document. Her mother was famously Jane Mansfield, who was like a pinup doll in the 50s and died tragically when she was very young. And she directed this documentary about her that came out this year. And what was amazing about it is she's funny, Mariska Hargitay. And like, I've seen all these interviews. She was on Amy Poehler's podcast. She's like, I always thought I would be in comedy. And she's like, and I'm this like in this, show about, molesting children or whatever. She's amazing. I love.
She was in the Groundlings too.
I know. She was in the Groundlings. I know. She's also front row of the mix. What's not to love? Tell me why. Why would you ask such a question?
Because she's going to be hosting the 78th Primetime Emmy Awards on September 14th, 2026.
I saw that, and I feel like this is such a great moment for her because she's in Broadway right now. She's in I think it's a one-woman show. She's been front seats, front row. Wow. Courtside. That's sort of like her. At the Knicks, she's like a huge, she's like bubbly, and now we're going to get to see these others. I feel like this is like part 2. She's coming out as like, listen, this is who I really am. Love it.
I'm excited to see her too. And I feel like everybody in television is excited to see her just because she's been around for so long and has been in the industry for so long.
27 seasons on that show.
Yeah. You know who's not going to be at the Emmys though, Lauren?
Who?
Like any creators, or at least creators from our world.
I mean, that's not different than any other year.
It's not different than any other year, except that YouTube has made a big push every year since 2024, I believe, was the first year when Neil Mohan came out and said, hey, we want creators to win Emmys.
Sure.
And YouTube is the new television, so they should. And YouTube has consistently ran these FYC for-year consideration campaigns since then for shows like Good Mythical Morning, Hot Ones, Brittany Broski's Royal Court, and
so
more.
Mm-hmm.
That show is really good.
So
I mean,
funny.
all the shows are really good.
So funny. Had that in Chicken Soup. What's her name? Chicken Shop Date.
Yeah, you're thinking of Chicken Shop Date's Amelia de Moldenberg.
Yes.
Streamy Award winner, by the way.
Yes, of course.
And so YouTube's made this concerted effort to try to get their creators in front of Academy members in order to get nominations, and they haven't been successful the past couple of years.
Sure.
This year, though, they were successful with one. So Subway Takes by Kareen Rama got nominated for Outstanding Short-Form Comedy, Drama, or Variety Series in the Creative Arts Emmys, which is part of the Primetime Emmy Awards. For those unfamiliar with the program, he gets on the New York City subway system, holds up a Metro card with a microphone behind it, and interviews celebrities and regular people. But I think part of the reason he was able to get an Emmy nomination is because of that celebrity component of the people he interviews. I mean, his guest list has been stacked. He's had Cate Blanchett, Charlize Theron, Ethan Hawke, Woody Harrelson, Jennifer Lopez, Lil Nas X, Charlie XCX, Halsey, Colin Jost, Hassan Minaj, Rami Youssef, Jason Bateman, David Byrne.
Yeah, but you could say the same and more for Hot Ones, and they weren't nominated.
You could.
In Hot Ones, I think, I don't watch Subway Takes. I'm not very interested in it, but I am obsessed with Hot Ones. I think Hot Ones is genius. I have a dream. You know how my dream, everybody knows who listens to this, that I have a dream to be on Dancing with the Stars. My second, maybe now equal dream is to be on Hot Ones. I mentioned this to my husband and recently, and he's like, you would literally not even last like one. I have not zero tolerance for spicy, but like, I would say like 1%. Like I'm not like I couldn't.
Maybe you can win like a Hot Ones with Sean Evans at like a charity auction or something.
I was thinking about like when in my life could I like stage a Hot Ones? Not necessarily. I'm not going to pretend that I could get Sean Evans, but I'm like, could I like in what forum could I invite people over and like do Hot Ones? Like I've had this thought. I think about this. I would love to do. I think it is. It's just so funny. It's just so funny.
Maybe for any like milestone huge birthdays you have coming up.
Well, I mean, I know I'm going to be like 30. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
And so people are saying that this is YouTube's kind of like first Emmy nomination. I want to say
it's in like some weird shorts category. It's like not even a thing.
So you're right. It's not the main kind of like best variety talk show category.
No.
It is for Outstanding Short Form Comedy, Drama, or Variety Series. It is nominated alongside Colbert Before Air, The Daily Show, Desi Lydic, Fox Splains, The Randy Rainbow Show, and Bad Thoughts. To be clear, The Randy Rainbow Show has been on YouTube for a while as well.
Yeah, and I just feel like I don't really buy your I don't know why this one got nominated. I don't buy your argument about celebrities because all the other shows we just talked about, Chicken Shop and Hot Ones, have tons of celebrities on it. I'm sure like it was a contributing factor. But I think that like, these like I don't know. I have a lot of like these like sort of old school Hollywood award shows. I mean, people get nominated by the people who are old school Hollywood people. And it seems like this bigger kind of representation of what people like than it actually is. It's like 20,000 people, which is like not nothing, but it certainly is not like a representation of like when actually people are watching.
Yeah, but who knows if it should be a representation of what people are actually watching or not, too. I mean, that's debatable as well. Like, are these
Sure.
people who are voting arbiters of taste and style and creative endeavors, or are they not? Should it be more populist kind of vote? That's, I think, a topic for a different conversation. But what I want to point out is just some
I mean, is
historical
it though? Because
context here, too.
well, you're sitting here talking about like, YouTube's making this push and they're not getting the validation. And my point is like, it's about being validated by these people who are not the audience that these people are trying to reach.
Yes, Lauren, I kind of agree with you with that. And I think YouTube is doggedly kind of like trying to get these nominations and break into the television ecosystem because it wants those television advertising dollars.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for people to think of YouTube as television than billions of dollars of advertising spend to suddenly shift from television over to something that's not television.
Right.
And so the more kind of cultural touch points, award hardware, press hits, etc., that YouTube is able to aggregate makes it more and more closer to television and therefore more and more closer to the television advertising dollars.
100%. 100%. Now you're making some sense.
On the flip side, I don't think YouTube needs any of this. They're the biggest name in entertainment by far on a global scale. They have billions of users every single month. In the United States alone, they encompass upwards of 13% of watch time on television screens. Netflix is at 8%, their like closest competitor. If YouTubers were to get a bunch of Emmy nominations, I can understand how that's cool validation and that may tip the needle in terms of brands and advertisers somewhat, but it doesn't change the overall trajectory of where the ecosystem and the industry is going.
Except that you're saying that it could in terms of because the more advertiser dollars that go to YouTube.
I think it could accelerate the trajectory for
Yes.
sure. Just like things like Cannes Lions. Creators
Yes.
being at Cannes Lions accelerates the
Yes.
trajectory of investment into the ecosystem.
Yes.
But everybody knows which way the wind is blowing now.
Sure.
And this can speed up and pull the future closer to the present,
Yeah.
but it's not going to rewrite what's going to happen in the future.
I hear what you're saying. Okay. Do you think that YouTubers care about being nominated?
I think a certain subset of YouTubers care about being nominated because they watched the Emmy Awards and the Oscars and these traditional Hollywood award shows when they were growing up, and they think it's cool and validation, and it's something that not lots of their peers have as well.
Mm-hmm.
And because it can put them, and because for the same reason that YouTube wants it, it could accelerate the trajectory of investment into their own channels and ecosystems.
Right.
Just like a great press hit could have, or a great story or a viral video that everybody sees.
Sure.
It just accelerates that trajectory. I don't think it's necessary for that trajectory to happen.
Listen, everybody does it ultimately. Nobody's mad at an award and recognition.
And Lauren, just to provide a little bit of historical context, the first kind of like YouTuber show to win a Primetime Emmy Award was the Lizzie Bennet Diaries back in 2013. It was famously
that was Bernie Sue, right?
It was Bernie Sue and Hank
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
And they won a Primetime Emmy in an interactive category. And
Yeah.
its spinoff Emma approved one too for like vlog style modern storytelling of Pride and Prejudice.
I was about
Also-
to say, do you know what Lizzie Bennet Diaries is based off of? Do you
Yeah,
know?
we
Did
just
you
said
even
it.
know the
We
source
just said
material
it.
for that? Did you
Of
even
course.
know? Did you
Yes.
even know? Have you ever even seen Pride and Prejudice?
I've never
You
seen
read
it,
the
but
book?
read it a few times.
No, you have not. You've done neither. Pride and Prejudice. I will tell you. I don't know if anybody knows. This might be a reveal right now. Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley is my favorite movie of all time. I've watched it. I mean, like just hundreds of times. It's my favorite movie of all time. Matthew, what's his name? McFadden. What's his last? The Succession guy plays. Oh God.
It's your favorite movie of all time.
Well,
Who is it?
he's Mr. Darcy. I mean, I'm not worried about his because until Succession, nobody really knew who he was. Oh God, he's so good though.
And then, Lauren, if you go back to 2010, the first kind of like online video thing from our world, you could say, that won a Primetime Emmy was Star Wars Uncut. It was by Casey Pugh and Jamie Wilkinson, and they basically crowdsourced the whole Star Wars movie. They had fans send in 15-second chunks of Star Wars,
Mm.
and you could go in onto this interactive website and choose which chunk you were going to film. And then if there were multiple people choosing the same 15-second period, people would vote on which one would win out for the final cut. And then they stitched it all together for this final cut that also won an interactive Emmy Award during the primetime
I don't remember
Emmys.
that. That brings me back to the sort of the Felicia Day worlds, but the world. Remember when all that was sort of going on? But like, you were just reminding me, like when I was at Facebook, there was like this big push for user. I feel like that was based on like, wasn't Joey Kersuff in that show where you could the user could decide what ending they wanted. That was like a big moment for like probably like 10 years ago, where everybody was like, that was like the thing. Like voters can like
Yeah.
vote on how it would end, and we were trying to build something like that at Facebook, but it never really took off.
I think that was one of those things where it's like, whoa, what can we do on the internet that we can't do on other entertainment platforms?
Totally.
And like, let's
Totally.
explore this creatively. It ended up being pretty cool. I think it was a
Totally,
moment in
dude.
time. Maybe they'll come back.
Josh, up next, Netflix has just come out with a bunch of really interesting deals with publishers. So Netflix said this is sort of a first wave of content that they're going to be of partnerships like this. So deals include, like I said, BuzzFeed, Condé, again, Allure, Architectural Digest, Bon Appetit, Condé Nast Traveler, Epicurious. So it's going to be some archival IP, and then there's going to be some new stuff. So it's going to be relatively like short form, like 3 to 20 minutes. I think this is really interesting. It feels like, Netflix pushed to like sort of, bring the world in one sort of spot. I kind of love this in a lot of ways. I'm a big, we've talked about this before. What are your like 2 to 3 websites that you go to every day, no matter what? Because people.com is one of mine.
Oh, that's awesome. I used to go to Slate, but I had to stop because I was reading too many articles on there, and it's not good for my just regular time management.
Sure.
Also Reddit, which I'm only allowed to view on my phone now because I can't look at it on my desktop, again, for time management reasons. I just have a lot
Like
of
you can't-
guardrails
like-
in place,
like-
Lauren.
Like if you put like a thing that like it won't allow you to, like, is your mom watching? Like that's what, like who?
No, like I hardwired my computer in my terminal settings where I can't visit these websites.
You really did?
Yeah.
Are you lying? Okay.
No, that's what I do.
Okay. That's not a
As
thing.
someone who's medicated for ADHD, I need to
Sure.
just put some certain guardrails on my own kind of daily internet consumption.
Yeah, and I
in
would
order to make
say
the most out of my day.
I would argue that it's mostly still not working in terms of your time management. So like I guess it could be worse. I guess
Yeah.
like if this is better, like I'm grateful for that. But
Totally.
Anyway, talk about these deals that Netflix has made.
Lauren, I think what Netflix is trying to do here is basically they're building like an anti-YouTube inside of their own platform.
Ooh, tell me more. What do you mean?
Well, they
by
watch
that?
YouTube obviously become the single most watched screen in America
Yeah.
on the back of exactly this kind of snackable, lean back content.
Yeah.
And instead of Netflix building it out themselves and having some platform where anyone can upload video content and then the best ones get served more, et cetera, they're just cherry picking the ones that they like the most, that they think have the most like high value and fit comfortably underneath the Netflix umbrella, like reach whatever threshold of quality and consumption metrics that they think befit their brand, and are putting it on the platform to give people like easy stuff to watch in between when they find other stuff that they want to watch.
How long until you think that Netflix is going to allow some version of user-generated content on their platform?
I mean, I think like it's inevitable at this point. I think
Right.
if you could look at the trajectory.
I guess they do. I mean, I guess that's a bad question because, I mean, technically they do already because they have deals with creators. So I guess that like, I think I just mean more, like not so polished.
I think Netflix in the foreseeable future is always going to have some type of minimum viable threshold of quality, whatever that means to them. I don't think it's going to be wholesale. Everybody can upload to Netflix and then see what rises to the top and gets the most views. I think they already have this, quote, farm league, as they would probably say, in YouTube. And so they can see all those things. And then they can sign deals with the people that they want to sign deals with to bring over to their platform. They're already doing this with a number of content creators, including Amazing Digital Circus, Jordan and Salish Matter, and more.
Obviously. My kids are deep in Jordan and Salish. Like they talk about Jordan and Salish all the time. Am I cool because I have pictures of myself and Jordan? Jordan has been on this podcast many times. We've interviewed him. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's helping.
That's great.
Thanks.
Hey, Jordan, you hear that? Lauren would like to have you come on the podcast.
We'd like to continue. I'd like to continue our relationship.
Yeah.
I'd like to further. I'd like to go deeper. Go on.
And so I think this follows kind of like a similar trajectory, maybe you could say, of Netflix adopting advertising. Years ago, they said they're never going to have ads on the platform. They would never have an advertising tier.
Right.
And then several years later, they have an advertising tier.
Of course.
I think if they did say they're never going to have, quote, UGC on the platform, years ago, they're going to have some version of that in the near future because they need to in order to keep up with YouTube.
I know. I mean, you would think at the end of the day, right now, the biggest differentiator is curation, right? With YouTube and between YouTube and Netflix in some ways, right? Like, it's just they're all going to become the same, and it's just sort of exhausting.
And I think what Netflix also is trying to do here is stave off people going from Netflix to YouTube. So Somebody Feed Phil is a good example of that. It had the first couple seasons on Netflix. It's going to do its next season on YouTube. And I think if there's this perception that YouTube is more television, that people can who come from this Hollywood ecosystem go on to YouTube and have careers on there, whether it's advertiser supported, YouTube supported, or brand supported, like integrated brand supported, then Netflix hasn't really had to deal with like a talent issue before.
Right.
They can kind of get whatever talent they want, but if YouTube comes up as a viable competitor for it, they need to figure out how to also take like some of what YouTube is doing really well and bring it onto their platform.
Well, it's just a numbers game. I mean, YouTube is just like, owning, their numbers are just rising. And so it's like, how do they compete?
And speaking of Netflix's trajectory, in 2017, Reed Hastings, then CEO, famously said, quote, "We're competing with sleep on the margin."
I remember that.
So sleep was the enemy.
Yeah.
Then in 2018, Netflix said, "We compete and lose to Fortnite more than HBO." So YouTube wasn't even in the vocabulary of
Isn't that interesting?
what the Netflix CEOs were talking about.
Right.
Then in 2024, Ted Sarandos said that the two feed each other pretty nicely, that Netflix trailers do great numbers on YouTube. It's a great promotional vehicle. But by early 2025, really the gloves came off, and Ted Sarandos said YouTube is in the, quote, killing time business. Netflix is in the spending time business.
Ooh. Subtle but impactful difference.
And then in March, he blatantly said YouTube is, quote, a straightforward direct competitor for television. And he said the television screen is a zero-sum game. Whoever you pick is what you're watching tonight.
Crazy how fast that changed.
Yes, it's crazy how fast that changed.
It's crazy. I think we could predict for a long time that this is what the kids are watching. So, of course, kids grow up and now they're watching this content on the bigger devices and all that sort of stuff. So, like, it does. I've never went to, like, love a prediction. It's not my favorite game to play. But I could never have predicted the speed. This is crazy.
And Netflix is doing this with these smaller deals with these publishers, which is honestly a big lifeline for these publishers, I think. It gets them more distribution. Yeah. They get to be premium because they're incorporated with Netflix and more. Yeah. But then they're also doing with these big, huge deals. Like they paid $100 million to Jay Shetty's podcast to pull On Purpose off of YouTube and put it onto Netflix. And other shows like The Breakfast Club got a Netflix deal. So it's looking at both ends of the spectrum here, doing these big high-profile deals to kind of take people off of YouTube or the majority of the content off YouTube and bring them onto Netflix. Mm-hmm. And then this kind of low-hanging fruit where it's working with these premium publishers. And these premium publishers probably love the idea of being on Netflix. It's a certain cachet for them. People are going to dig it because this is what consumption habits are like. You can go on YouTube, you watch a 3-minute video, and then you watch a 2-hour-long video. Netflix needs to have that variety, I think, of snackable content with more long form in order to get its watch time up.
I mean, it does, because it does. I mean, it's like such a sad state of affairs, but there's sometimes when you just like don't feel like investing an hour of your time. You might end up spending 2 hours on that snackable content, but you just don't want to commit mentally to like a full hour and like what that entails.
It's like eating a whole pie, just one forkful at a time.
How many times have you done that? Pre your gluten.
Yeah, so many. Oh man, that house.
Oh my God, I thought about you.
Pizza Hut lunch buffet.
I listened to Matt Damon on Amy Poehler, and he's been off gluten for 2 years, and he's like, I'm a changed man.
Yeah. Hey.
He's like, I miss it, like all time, but he's like,
changed man.
Changed man. Josh, you know him, you love him. We have, for the second week in a row, Tubefilter's own Sam Gutelle coming on to talk a little bit about the World Cup. Because we all know that you and I should not be talking sports. Let's just say that. Let's just like, by the way, I've gotten some messages from people being like, Schnipp's trying to talk about sports.
So I am excited to have Sam Gutelle on the podcast. He is an actual sports aficionado who knows what he's talking about. And it's interesting. It touches our world as well because The next World Cup rights are up for grabs.
Yeah.
YouTube is in the mix. There's a
Yeah.
$2 billion price tag. Things should get interesting. Let's have Sam on and we can talk about all of it. Sam Gutelle, welcome back to Creator Upload.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us what's going on with these World Cup rights.
Well, in my house, we've been watching a lot of World Cup this year, and we've been watching exclusively in Spanish on Telemundo, on Peacock. And that's taught me a lot of fun vocab words like pausa de hidratación. But it's also, I think, spoken to the very fractured nature of the current broadcast rights in the U.S. Fox has the English language rights. If you want that on streaming, you're going to have to go to Fox One. That's a lot more expensive than Peacock is. So there's reportedly been some tension, according to CNBC, between Fox and Telemundo about the latter of those broadcasters poaching some native English speakers via Peacock. This is going to bring some big changes to the next few editions of the World Cup in 2030 and 2034. FIFA is shopping the U.S. rights for those right now, and it's bundling together English and Spanish rights. So when you think about how big this tournament has been in the U.S. and how big the audience can be if you're merging those English and Spanish audiences, this is a very hot commodity. And everyone who's anyone is going out to bid on this. You know, there's been reports of Prime and Apple trying to get in. Obviously, you have Disney/ESPN is always a name when these negotiations come up. Netflix, they're doing the Women's World Cup next year. They'd love to add the men's to that as well. And then YouTube, they've said that they are trying to win those rights for 2030 and 2034, building on the success that they've had with World Cup coverage this year.
So to me, this seems like the kind of thing that is perfect for YouTube. It's a global audience with international appeal that's getting a ton of viewership. And it seems like it would go well with YouTube's overall strategy, at least their strategy of the past few years, where they want these big, high-profile, potentially global events and sporting events on their platform. They're famously paying upwards of $2 billion a year for NFL Sunday Ticket. They have the Oscars coming to the platform in 2029. They did a deal with Eurovision to live stream that around the world. They're working with their creators like Kaze TV in order to have these FIFA World Cup streams co-streamed on some of these creators' channels to get broader viewership. It seems like this is the perfect kind of programming that YouTube would really jump at and pay like whatever they could for.
Yeah, you know, YouTube loves to tout those numbers they get in Nielsen's The Gauge report, which measures total traffic on TV sets from different streaming platforms. And YouTube has been dominating those rankings lately. And sports obviously just generates huge amounts of watch time. And if YouTube wants more watch time on TVs, more watch time across all screens, it needs more live sports. That's just where the watch time is because we love our sports, especially in the US. This attempt to get more live sports on YouTube, you know, it's been a little checkered. It's been a little up and down. I mean, they got a regular season YouTube broadcast for the NFL last season. And on the whole, it was successful. It was a very different type of NFL broadcast. But also in their attempts to add more games to that this year, they reportedly backed out of negotiations with the league after the NFL gave a coveted Australia game to Netflix rather than YouTube. So the NFL has been sort of a tricky place for YouTube to get a foothold, but then global soccer is a much more natural fit. It was huge on YouTube before YouTube even tried to pursue these, you know, coveted live sports contracts, which is not quite the same as the NFL. I mean, you had some American football creators like Destroying, who, you know, built huge followings like with videos that are talking about football. But it's not the same as soccer, where well before this World Cup, you had some of the top 10 most viewed channels on YouTube where people like Celine Dept and Ronaldo himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, who were just getting millions, if not billions of views with very organic, earnest soccer content. And so it would be very easy for YouTube if they were to get a more comprehensive rights package to say, you know, we're going to bring in Celine Dept. She's going to broadcast all the Belgium games. We're going to bring in Kaze TV for all those Brazil games. They have creators in every country who are soccer mad, who are ready to be part of this experience. And it worked well for them in 2026. And whether or not they win the rights in 2030 and 2034, this is going to be a big part of the proceedings.
And not only creators in every country, but also sales teams in every country that they can go and activate with those creators. I think that's an important component too here, where none of these other organizations have this global presence where they can take the rights kind of like globally and actually activate on it in a meaningful capacity. I think that's going to be a super interesting component of this as well. Sam, to your point of this bifurcation of sources where you can watch the NFL and also the World Cup this year, if YouTube just took it, it would make a much more pleasant experience for viewers as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of frustrations with Fox's coverage, especially running these ads during the hydration breaks. If you've noticed on the broadcast, the fans have all been whistling and booing when those breaks have been happening, because the idea of injecting American-style capitalist commercialism that we're so familiar with from the NFL and all our sports, that's very foreign in the soccer world. And so YouTube, I think, with having this different advertising model that you're speaking of being able to bring in these brand deals from all the different World Cup countries, I think they could create a viewing experience that the average viewer finds more pleasant than what they can get on Fox.
Sam, thank you for lending us your expertise. Always great to have you on Creator Upload. We'll be watching the final soon. Who's your pick to win?
It's hard to pick against France. I got to say, they got the talent. They've got to be the favorite still.
They have a certain joie de vie. Sam, thank you for coming on the program. Always glad to have you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Sam. Always great to hear about your eclectic interests, from Mr. Rogers to the World Cup and everything in between.
That sounds so eclectic. Those are pretty mainstream, Lauren, but still.
I mean, individually they are mainstream, but at one human having that each of those interests is, I would say, it makes an eclectic human. I would say, like, he's got layers. What do you want from me?
Sam, great to have you.
Josh, I think we did it.
Lauren, I think that's it. I'll see you trying to get Keira Knightley to do her best Sean Evans at some big event where she can interview for Hot Ones.
I mean, I see where you're going there.
I can workshop it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's work on that.
If not there, next week on Creator Upload. Today's show was produced by Lauren Schnipper, Joshua Cohen, that's me, and Adam Connor. It's edited by Adam Connor too. Original music is by London Bridge. You can check him out on Instagram at London Bridge Music. Make sure you subscribe to Creator Upload right here on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, as well Spotify, or wherever you're listening. While you're there, give us a rating and leave us a comment. If you want to talk, hit us up at info@creatorupload.com. If you like our show, recommend it to a friend. If you love it, just tell everyone. Thanks for listening to Creator Upload, and we will be back next week.